There it goes.
Okay.
And we have it. We have the screen. Yay!
Okay.
Woohoo! Yay, Oscar! Yay!
Okay, we'll carry on from here with marketplace principles. These are somewhat classic. You've probably heard about most of them before, but maybe not in this context. And that's kind of there's really no place that I've found where they're gathered together. And I've even bought level marketing books, and I cannot find a single principle listed that's called a principle. There's a lot of information in there, and some of these things are covered, but they're not principles. Principles are important because they're foundational. Principles do not change. Rules change, the conditions in which we operate in change, but principles are timeless and forever. They're foundational. Know your customer. Of course, to market to a customer, it's best that we know and understand them in multiple different ways. Let's look at a couple. Who they are. Okay, sounds kind of elementary, but there's a lot of broad assumptions made about who the customer is, and there is no average customer, really. I mean, who wouldn't want to be called average anyway? But the fact is while there would be a statistical or mathematical average, everybody is different. Customers would fall into certain categories, for example, male, female, but even within those categories, to treat males and females all the same is no worse than treating women all the same or men all the same, because they're not all the same. So we have to drill down. There's demographic information, which are basically facts that are black and white, yes or no, what zip code they live in, how many people are in the household, how many children they have, what car they drive. All those things are statistical facts, and a lot of that information is available to us, even if we don't think it is. A lot of it is. But probably more importantly, there are psychographic traits that customers have, and psychographic basically just means what they value, where they place importance in their life, and that is actually more important. You can tell a lot about a customer by the clues that they give you of their psychographics that you can't tell about their demographic. And yes, you can pick up whether they're male or female, age range, some things from the demographic, but if you see a customer drive into a parking space in your lot and they're driving a 1964 Volkswagen microbus, probably even if you don't see the back of that, you probably know that there are bumper stickers on it. And the same thing applies if they're driving a late model Volkswagen. Chances are high, of all the cars in the parking lot, the Volkswagen is the one with the bumper sticker.
That is so true.
It sure is. Next to that would be a Subaru. Subis typically have bumper stickers. Sometimes they're completely plastered with them. But what if it's a black BMW 740 something?
No bumper stickers.
No bumper stickers. However, you can tell a lot about the person who bought the car. Now we have to be careful because the person who bought the car may be a different person than the one who's actually driving the car. And because opposites attract, the man who typically buys the black BMW 7 Series may buy the car, but his spouse is probably not real similar to him in a lot of ways. May be supportive, may have a good relationship, but opposites attract, and they tend to be a lot different. So we have to be careful of the assumptions we make, and the best way to know a customer is to actually know the customer. And that can be done a lot of different ways. The classic traditional ways are do surveys, focus groups, and those types of things. But really the best way, any business person that will take the time to take 50 customers to lunch and spend 45 minutes with them will have a pretty good idea of who their customer is, because they'll know a lot of customers and they'll be able to draw some conclusions from that. But those who fail to invest the time to really know the customer have very sketchy information to go on. we have to validate what we think we know, because what we think we know is sometimes just not true. And I use the black BMW as an example of that, but there are many other situations. Many people inherit homes that they own. Many people do things that are totally outside of what you would think are reasonable expectations of someone similar to them. So you have to always kind of check and make sure. And find out what you don't know for sure. Find out what you don't know for sure. Sometimes
It happens all
it happens.
the time.
Yeah. Know your competitor. Of course you want to know your competitor. Here are some things to know about the competitors. First of all, there are direct competitors in two forms. The serious direct competitor, and that's unmistakable. If you're in the heating and air conditioning business and their truck says heating and air conditioning, obviously that's a direct competitor. But many times there are ankle biters. The ankle biters are the people who take a little bit of the business away that you don't notice. It's the person who does side jobs that works for the competitor, and they allow them to do that. It's the person who sells, for example, in the greenhouse garden center business, the fundraiser that sells plants. A lot of those happen this time of year. Those are ankle biters. They don't do enough business to take too seriously, but you take all the ankle biters and add them up, and pretty soon it's 10 or 15% of your potential business is gone. Could you do without 10 or 15% more? Probably not. So it is already having an effect, and it's probably why most companies feel some pain already. There's also the indirect competitors.